I hope it will be good. It probably will be. It's been all right so far. And I have guests as well. Yes. Guests. Oh, I came in during the favourite part of that song. It's good, isn't it? We have some new peeps this evening. This is going to be great. I'm going to go from myself below. I'm Jebra. If you've never been here before, this is the LightBringers podcast for Guild Wars 2. Do other games and stuff, but the name is changed. And it's kind of weekly sometimes, just depends. Otherwise, we have Fornax from, I don't know how to say this. Is it Fornax from the Krytan Herald, or is it, like, how do you say that?
I mean, people call me Fornax, people call me the Krytan Herald, people call me the Herald. I answer to anything but slurs, so any of the above is fine.
Okay. Excellent. It's awesome to get you on here as well. Thanks for coming. Kroof is here as well. Kroof's never been here before.
I'm very new. I'm a little anxious being in new territory, but thanks for having me back on. Appreciate it.
Okay. And then we have Preston. If you don't know who Preston is or AKA Brazil, depends on what you prefer to be called. But of course, today, it's Preston.
It's me. Hello.
It is.
Hello, gamers. Welcome to the game.
Welcome to the game. And just in time as well, because we've got the, this is the trailer for the Guild Hall, right? Yeah. And they actually had loads of people in the trailer, like actual players and NPCs and stuff. Which is pretty good.
Paid actors.
Yeah. It's like that now, isn't it? And welcome everyone if you're watching live or watching online, wherever you are. Hello. We do mostly watch / listen.
Happy Friday and
to this,
welcome to Guild Chat. I'm your host, Ruby, and I am so glad that you've decided to spend this time with us today. This is our last Guild Chat of 2021. We've all had so much fun sharing all of these little End of Dragons previews and tours with you since July. And since this is our last show, we want to end on a high note. We have a lot of stuff to share with you today. We're going to talk about legendary weapon variants for End of Dragons. We're going to introduce some new story characters and tell you more about other story characters that you've already heard about. We're going to take a tour of the Isle of Reflection Guild Hall that you just saw the preview video of. And we're going to talk about the Arborstone Revitalization Mastery Track. We have a whole bunch to get through, and I know you're all really excited to hear about this, so we're going to jump right into it. Not going to make you wait super long. Let's start with the legendary weapon variants. Back on July 27th, during our first look live stream, we gave you that little peek at the legendary weapons. And we've got a quick video just in case you weren't there or if you've forgotten because it's been a while and 2021 has been weird. We're going to give you a quick refresher of what we talked about back then.
Just 2021. Ooh, there's a lot of contention about these.
I'm Chelsea Mills, and I'm a senior prop artist. In End of Dragons, we're introducing 16 new legendary weapons, all available on release day. This set of legendaries is inspired by the Elder Dragon Arene, who plays a significant role in the End of Dragons story. From an art perspective, we wanted the legendaries to show Arene's journey with the commander, from the first time you meet her as an adorable little hatchling, to now all grown up as our own Elder Dragon. The precursors represent baby Arene, while the legendaries represent adult Arene. Arene is one of my favorite characters, and I'm so happy that we got to create a legendary set based on her. I can't wait to see players running around in game with the legendaries.
I'm with Chelsea. I'm looking forward to this. Chelsea and a lot of our other developers have been hard at work since, well, for a very long time, but especially since that first look live stream in July. And the thing about these legendary weapons, this Arene set that Chelsea talked about, Arene isn't our only Elder Dragon. We have more. So the way this is going to work is that at End of Dragons launch, you're going to get that core Arene set, and then we will be releasing, actually, yeah, there's a preview of the core Arene set, and I have a little something extra for you in just a minute. But we're going to keep releasing legendary weapon variants based on the other Elder Dragons in the game. So like Jormag, Krakatoric, Mordermoth, you're going to get versions based on that.
Yes.
Here's a little preview just so you can get a look at like what the greatswords will look like. These are, each variant is going to use the style and effects based on that dragon.
What's that last
There's
one?
also going to be a new visual effect. And I think probably the best
Okay,
way to
I'm
preview it is
changing my
in-game.
choice
So
of
let's
legendary
take a
weapon I'm
look at
going
a
for.
couple of the Aurene weapons that I have on my character
this
now.
is it.
I'm just going with the
This
ones
is
I can
the
buy on the
Aurene.
trading
This
post.
is the short bow.
That's a short bow? Looks so weird.
Is that that's the Aurene
So you
one?
can get a
Yes.
good
That's
close
so
up look
pretty,
at that and
actually.
how the effects are very much like the Aurene,
God, I
the
just
Elder
finished
Dragon
Exodium as
grown
well.
Aurene
Son
that you
of a
see in
bitch.
the Hall of Monuments right now. And let me just unhide my UI real quick because I think also it's going to be kind of fun to start some trouble. There is, and we can also see the footfalls. There is a Naga right around here. So when you go into combat, come on.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, he did not love that.
That is very much like the Bifrost, like ramped up to like 100.
Yeah.
That's awesome. When they come down as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy
Just
crap.
take him out real quick.
Well, I want to see the others.
footfalls
Are
a look at
so
what this looks
visible,
like.
aren't they? They're massively more visible than like the legendary I just crafted, which
That
is one of the
death
new
blow
ones.
effect is a new effect
Oh.
that will come with these legendary weapons. You will occasionally get that when you kill. It's kind of a finishing style effect, and you'll also see
Whoa.
when you first go into combat and swap weapons while you're in combat, you get a little effect on there too.
What?
So the variants, the way this is going to work, the variances are appearances. You forge that core Aurene legendary weapon, and then you will go on a journey with it to start unlocking the magic of other Elder Dragons and bringing that into this legendary weapon. So all of these awesome great swords that we gave you a preview of and all of the other legendary weapons that will be released as part of those variants, you just have to forge that basic weapon once, and then you do your gameplay to unlock it in other ways. The other thing that I want to mention about that, because I'm pretty sure people are asking, these legendary weapons, the core Aurene weapons and their precursors are going to be tradable. So you can trade those with others in the game. You can get them on the trading post. You can put them on the trading post after you forge them. And if you are super excited about that, you can get a head start on them right now with the legendary precursor that you get through Living World Replay. If you have missed some of those achievements, they're permanent, so you can still work on those between now and End of Dragons and just get a little jump on things. There's a lot more to tell about those, but we have a lot to get through today as well. So as soon as this show's over, we're going to be publishing a post on our website from 3 of the developers who are working on this that give you more information about these weapons. But there's your preview, and we're going to move on and talk
Why
about
didn't they tell us
some
this
of these story
before?
characters.
Yeah, this is crazy.
This
let's
is
start with
like,
Morgan. Hi.
everyone was just like, oh, Aurene
Hi,
legendary.
I am Morgan Lockhart.
And
And
then- no, it's just like,
internet, working on all things End of Dragons.
They could have got
I
the
wrote a
feedback
bunch of
and then
the chapters
quickly
of the
pivoted
past,
to go,
worked on that
oh,
for
we'll
a
do
while
the
now,
other
and
dragons as
Arborstone
well.
now, which we'll be talking
That's
about
true.
later.
They're the same
Thank
model,
you.
but just
And
different
also Quan,
effects.
Hi.
True.
Hi everyone, my name is Quan.
Either way,
Kirk,
god
and
damn,
I'm
knocking it out of the park, right?
narrative lead
Yeah, it's
on
good.
End of Dragons, and
Absolutely.
I'm really excited to share some of the characters with you all today.
Yeah. So a quick thing, as always, we are pulling back on spoilers. We want to leave lots for you to find for yourself in game. So we're going to tell you a little bit about these characters, their background, who they are, but we're not going to be digging deep into the story spoilers. So if you don't want those, don't worry, we've got you covered. So why don't we start with June, who we saw in the End of Dragons trailer not so long ago. Who is she? Tell us about her.
Yeah, so June is the owner of Zoomlight Jade, which is the company that's proliferating a lot of this Jade technology that you have all been seeing throughout the trailers and previews. And she's a very brilliant inventor and also a very shrewd businesswoman. And so she has a lot of talents that allow her to excel at what her role is. And interestingly, she was born to kind of a poor family in the Jade Sea. She was raised by a single mother, and those are kind of surprisingly humble beginnings for this character, right?
Yeah, it's humble, and it has meant that she has had to overcome a lot of questions about her talent, her ability, and because of that, she has like really high defenses. And that can sometimes complicate our relationship with her, complicate our interactions with her. where she can take a simple offer of help or advice as being something that is a personal attack on her abilities. She hears, maybe we could do this way, as, you are not capable and you will never be capable. You will never amount to anything. She's always hearing that in her head because of all of these people that constantly ask that of her. And so because of that, she can be a little prickly. She does not like to be questioned. She does like having things her way. And that, like you're saying, that complicates some of our interactions with her. But she's a really wonderful character. One of the things I really appreciate about writing her is that it's a character type that we just don't often see in female identifying characters. And when we thought about our inspirations, we did think of Lady True in Watchmen, but mostly when we were referring to her to our actors or to other people on the team, we brought up a lot of these real world, brilliant, pragmatic, but egotistical male tech moguls. And so examining that character through the lens of womanhood has been a really interesting challenge, and I think has created a very fresh character.
Well, how about, I don't want to make a pun that's going to spoil things, but how about Empress Inn? Let's move on and let's talk about her a little bit.
Yeah, so Empress Inn is the current leader of the Canthan Empire. She comes from the Imperial line that's been throughout Guild Wars history before even factions. And she's a very, she cares a lot about the people under her, and she wants to do what's best for the Canthan people. But she's come into power at a very tumultuous time. There's a lot of changes in society that are happening between the J technology that's kind of changing the culture and the ways of the Canthan people, but also at the same time, in End of Dragons, Cantha is going to reopen, which is a monumental event in Canthan history, right? So she faces a lot of challenges in this position as the Empress.
Yeah, and another very interesting detail that we are going to now share about June is that she was actually the illegitimate child of the previous emperor, which makes her the half-sister of the Empress. However, she was not raised in court. She was not raised with any of those advantages. And so something that's interesting that's happened lately, though, is that there's been this power shift where June has grown in power while Empress Inn has seen some of her own power diminish. And so there's been this sort of flip of their positions, or not flip really, it's more like June has risen to be close to her level, but it's changed their relationship, it's challenged their relationship. It does create some tension, but mostly there is also still a lot of respect. But it is something that plays into that feeds into all of their interactions as two of the most prominent and powerful members of the Canthan society.
Yeah, and she's very interesting because she has like a very commanding presence, as she should as a leader. She's comparable to Queen Jenna, right? And when you meet her, you feel like you've met a world leader. She's just so confident, and
she really has an impact.
Yeah, and but at the same time, she has a human side to her, right? And we see some of those more intimate moments, even in the brief time that we see her. And it's really interesting to be able to kind of like peek behind the curtain of royalty during those times.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next character, I do want to call that out, how multifaceted these characters are. And this is something that I've loved as I've been watching these characters come along while you all are working on them and building them out. You have that exterior, you have that professional side that we're all interacting with as players, but they have a history, they have interactions, they have background that complicates who they are, and they have that internal, that human, that more vulnerable side that it's subtle, it's not like hitting you in the face, but it is very much informing who they are, and I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's really present in our next character, which is Minister Lee, he's the head of the Ministry of Security, which is basically the modern
it looks like a badass
version of the Ministry of Flame. And
that, for sure.
Should have just had his arms crossed though.
Proud
That's what I should have done.
He's a
Esports classic
and,
pose. Yeah, exactly.
Takes his job very seriously. He takes the security of his.
I think we just found the bad guy. Yeah.
Jesus, Preston, what the hell? Are your arms? What the good
lord?
lord?
What?
Like some
absolutely.
muscly bastard.
It's his job to see
swore.
Kantha is
I
safe
screwed up.
and
A
to
Norn
keep track of all
IRL.
these changes, all the
I
people
have
entering, and
a
so
happy
that
beer
complicates
gut
a lot of
with
our
big
interactions
arms.
with him.
Jesus.
And
Massive
as a
arms.
traditionalist, he definitely takes this view of the changes that are happening to Kantha in a very wary way. Anything that might change power structures could potentially threaten his place in society, his power, and so he's very wary of all that. But at the same
What is
time,
happening on this stream?
he is a politician. He is skilled at what he does.
Their
and every
fabric,
interaction
their
with him
shirts are rubbing against that mic.
a few different layers.
Oh God.
His voice actor Patrick Gallagher does an amazing
It was
job
someone else.
bringing that nuance to
Taking-
the performance.
Putting on mics and taking them off.
And even though his character comes across as very aggressive or stern, and the many characters in the game around him who work under him or with him feel the same way about him. June has to interact with him, and she
They are not friends.
yeah, she feels that way about him.
Yeah, there was a bit of a cutscene
At the
that
same
we saw
time, there's
between
a
Minister
there's
Lee
a
and June
warmth
during the
almost
first
that may be going
showcase.
too far.
That
but
might be too
a
Great
sentimentality
mocap as well.
beneath his kind of hard exterior that. Oh, sorry, I'm being made aware of a mic issue.
You can tell just from the shape
There's
language
a-
of the
there's a,
character
like, a
alone that he is
sentimentality
going to be an
beneath that
antagonist,
comes
100%.
across when he interacts with Detective
It's the
Ron,
red
who's
behind him.
character that
He's
we'll
actually
see,
Shiro. Shiro's back
later
again.
this month, and
Yeah, there you go. Can you imagine if that was a thing,
they
though?
have almost like a mentor
Yes.
mentee relationship.
That would be cool.
or
On the
father-son
Balthazar,
relationship,
they're gonna have
and,
Shiro just like
um,
inhabit Minister Lee, and Shiro's gonna be like, well, bam.
He's a revenant.
A couple of characters.
There you go.
this month. As we get
Shiro's
closer to
descendant?
Avengers Day and the end of the year,
Possibly, you
keep an
never
eye
know.
On our Instagram, our Twitter, our
What the hell not?
Facebook channels.
Yeah,
because we
clip
have
this and come
special
back and see
videos
if you were
for
right.
those
Yeah.
characters,
Yeah.
Which is, well, Rama and Yao.
Really, actually clips all the time,
Get
so
some
that
more
could actually be a
introductions.
thing.
So yeah, you'll meet them later this month.
Yep, exactly.
I'm just like I'm like this is
So
cool,
what
but I'm
to,
still legendaries are in my
talk
head,
about-
and then Preston's like legendary armor, and I'm like, what?
Before
Don't
we
do
start
that.
talking about Anya, I want to take a moment and appreciate
Oh, the
her
best
awesome
race
design.
in the game.
I love her outfit, and her eyes are very unique, of course.
This was the Asura on the
The Aether
airship.
Blades. We haven't seen them in a while,
Yeah, you're probably
and,
It
right.
wasn't Zoja.
We've created a lot of new crew members.
Zoja's
to
never
really
coming
fill
back?
Out,
No.
make it feel like this is a family of sky pirates that have been in the mist for all these years together. And we previously have killed Horik in the Fractal, who was the first mate to my Trin. He was the Norn with the big cannon. Anka has taken that position as the new first mate to my Trin, and she's a little different. She has a very complicated backstory that we'll lightly touch on. We want to leave some of it for players to uncover in the actual game, but she was working with Gorik at Vominova many years ago before the explosion there. And
Interesting.
the experience of that really changed her in a fundamental way, and it was a formative moment in her life, right?
Yeah, and her interactions with Gorik, they really, we see her in many contexts throughout the game, and the interactions with Gorik are incredibly unique, and she brings out an interesting side of him too. I think fans of Gorik are really in for a treat this expansion, but they both bring out these really interesting sides of each other with this shared experience they have. But yeah, she's been on a journey, and it's been
Yeah.
a tough one, and because of that, she has this viewpoint that is extremely negative toward sort of all of the powerful figures of Tyria, the gods and the heroes who aspire to wield great power, because she looks at everything that's happened and sort of seems to think that every time that really powerful people get involved, including us, things
Yeah.
get worse.
Which was kind of the point of that Joko was making, right?
Yep, yeah. She is not the first one to make it, but she is the one who, I suppose, acts upon it.
Yeah.
But yes.
So one thing real quick, you called out her character model, and I do want to, huge shout out to everybody who's been working on the character models, because they're gorgeous, and I love her eyes so much. They are fantastic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but she's not the only Aether Blade that we're gonna meet. There are a few others.
Yeah, so we're gonna touch on
Matron?
some other Aetherblade crew members, not as
Aetherblade,
deeply,
awesome.
but the first one would
Love
be
that steampunk
Ivan,
theme.
who's a dredge.
Oh,
Aetherblade.
nice.
So here,
What?
That's
he
well
is the
good.
chief navigator, and he's a very self-serious
Dredge playable race incoming.
He's really a lot of fun. He's extremely loyal to
They're
my
pretty. I
trip.
like him actually. I think that would be cool.
And the dynamics
a
between
dredge.
him and
Oh god, they were the
Anka
bane
and
of my
this other
existence when I
character
was
that we're
leveling
about
my
to talk
first
about.
character. They were
Make him
horrible.
just such a joy. Steve Bloom plays him and brings just a lot of heart to this character.
Wielding the
and the
Hollow
next
Smith shoulders.
Aetherblade character is
Yeah,
Renyak,
yeah.
who
Have you ever seen a
He's
dredge
a
with shoulder
tar.
pads on?
But
Yeah,
not
and then
like
there's the
any
fixer
jar
upper
you
thing.
have
Oh, man.
ever met before.
Yeah, his personality is extremely wild. He is the chief munitions officer, and
Renyak, is it?
we're not going to
Renyak?
say much
Renyak?
about it. What I will say is he has a very explosive personality, and
Quan.
That's one way to put it.
and when you hear his voice when End of Dragons releases, we won't say who he's played by right now, but when you're playing it and you hear his voice, and try to imagine who you think plays this character, and try to guess, and it will.
You'll probably be wrong.
I want to hear the guesses.
Yeah.
Yes,
As soon
we
as
want
you
your
hear
guesses.
Renyak, I want to know who people think, because honestly, we've talked about the flexibility of our voice actors and this huge range where you can't even tell who they are, but this is a really good one.
Yeah, we gave people so many challenges this expansion, and I think you're all going to be interested to hear about one of them, which is
Damn,
that
this
so
is really
many
good,
of them
actually.
got the chance
I'm
to
not
be a
normally that
Tengu,
interested in
and
this stuff. But
it was really interesting to see.
This is the first
what
time I've
each
ever been
actor brought to
excited for
that
the
and what
story.
their interpretation of
yeah,
it
that's
was,
fair
you
enough
know,
to
because
say.
it really
That's
gave
fair
people
play to
room
say.
play.
I think people
and
definitely
some
have
people would
different
think
views
of
on the
literal
story,
murder,
for
so
sure.
We'd have to pull them back. We're like, no.
I
no,
did enjoy
Holly,
the
please
Joker
stop
story was
screeching.
good though.
Please stop screeching. I
I
mean,
love
unless
that.
I told
That's
you to
pretty good.
screech a different
Replaying through
times,
some of that stuff
but
was
we
just
save it. We save
awesome.
it for some key beats. You know, and some people.
Oh,
you know,
come on,
kind
they
of,
killed him too
you know,
soon. It was a
I was very
tragedy.
delighted when I figured out that
Oh,
one
I
of my
mean,
voice
that's
actors was
something.
playing a Skeksis, because I love it.
But
And I was like,
you
that's
never know.
definitely what they're doing, and it was. At the end, I
coming
verified
back,
that was
is he?
their inspiration.
All right.
But
Gosh.
There we go.
speaking of Tengu,
Tengu, uh-oh.
the next character we're going to talk about
Oh,
is
damn it.
one of our named Tengu characters. Her name is Ayumi, and she is a member of the Kestrels. If you saw the Ekavald Wild stream, you'll remember that I talked a little bit
Oh,
about
she's
them.
beautiful.
They are an
cool.
organization of protectors of the Ekavald Wilds, and they began in the time of the purges that the Ministry of Purity was conducting, shepherding other Tengu to the Ekavald Wilds. Now, Ayumi is one of them. She was actually not born in Ekavald, though. She was what they call a city Tengu, which is a phrase that is occasionally thrown at her as a negative. But she was, you know, she was raised as a socialite. She was raised somewhat affluent, but her uncle was a member of the Kestrels, and he saw a whole lot of skill in her. So he brought her into the fold, vouched for her, and she did prove to have a lot of skill. But you know, all that said, a lot of the other Kestrels still question how well she understands fundamentally what it means to be a Kestrel.
Yeah, and part of her status as like this city Tengu, as some will call her, she's seen as an outsider in her life, and that's what makes her relate to us when we come there as outsiders, right? And I think her background also is what makes her so adaptive and just kind of sharp at different situations, and she's a very charming character, and I really love this character.
Yeah, and she's she's open to new ideas. You know, one of the reasons the other Kestrels kind of resist some of her proposals is that she does suggest some change. As somebody who's young, as somebody who's new, you know, but the Kestrels do feel like, especially some of these older Kestrels, that the way the Kestrels have been doing things has kept the Tengu and then the people of Ekavald safe for so long. So, you know, she does run against this with a lot of the other Kestrels. But in the end, like, a lot of her ideas are, you know, they're more modern and you know, they are welcomed by many of the other Kestrels, on the other hand, especially when dealing with members of the gangs. If you saw the Ekavald Wilds stream, then you will know that these two gangs play a large part in
Forest
End of
gang
Dragons as
wars.
a whole, but in particular the Ekavald Wilds, where they are
That sounds
headquartered.
perfect.
And you know, the Kestrels have fallen a little bit behind on dealing with those gangs. They've dug in a little bit more than the Kestrels have ever allowed anyone else to dig into Ekavald. And Ayumi has some ideas about how to fix that, as long as she can be confident enough to advocate for her ideas and that the others can accept it. But because she's young, she doesn't quite have that confidence. But she is somebody who we see grow in confidence over the course of the story.
Yeah, totally.
This all sounds really
So
complex, but
mentioning
like
the
in a
gangs
good way.
is a good time.
Yeah,
Let's
and they mentioned 5 acts,
go over-
so
let's
I
go over
really
to
hope
where
that
the
this is
gangs
one
are
of the
hanging out and
longest
talk about
expansion
who they are
stories that
and
they've
their
ever
leaders.
created,
Let's
and I
start
think
Yeah.
it's deserving, especially of Cantha.
Yes, the leader of the
I think a
Jade
lot
Brotherhood
of
is a man named
MMOs are
James
looking at the
Kroof, who was
successful
actually
story of
the
Final Fantasy, which is
co-founder of Zoom
incredibly
Jade
complex,
with June.
doesn't
While
talk down to
June
its
was sort of a
gamers,
brilliant
and whose
inventor,
gamers love
he had
it.
the business acumen. He
Let's
had the
hope that
business
they
ideas. And
roll with
together
it,
they brought
right?
the
Yeah, I
company
paid
up.
to skip
But
the
over
story in
time, they
Final
began to butt
Fantasy.
heads because they had different ethical lines.
it is very
like,
long.
Oh my
Peter told me his
God.
way over here. There were things he wanted to do that were a little bit less ethical that she did not.
I'm not
Joke,
supposed to
joke,
say
Over
that.
time,
People hate
he ended
people
up
hate it when you say
breaking
that.
off and forming his own group.
The base
mean, the
game
first-
is
the
adopting
first-
the name
yeah,
it's a
Jade
bit-
Brotherhood, which
yeah.
is actually
it's
Once you
tough.
get into the other
at
expansions,
one point,
they're
June accuses him of having a
beautiful,
small
but
bag
yeah.
of tricks.
Yeah, I
which is to
started
say
getting
that-
into it, it's
that
much
with
better.
Zoomlight Jade,
It's easier to take on. Oh, this is the character. This is the character who looks amazing. Like, look at those weapons.
Will be the antagonist in this story. He's like the leader of the Jade Brotherhood. That's like the antagonist tech group.
Oh, really? Okay.
But he knew
I missed
that
that.
name would strike fear into those who opposed him.
Looks
Yeah,
good.
he was
That's
never
the
necessarily as,
that's the Aether Blade armor, isn't it? The Magitech. We were talking about this
in
before.
many ways,
Or you would say Magitech
outmaneuvered him in
boots.
The chest and legs are the strike mission armor.
Yeah.
The runic armor.
Yeah. The
The
boots
shoulders
and
and the
everything.
gloves are new. They're jade.
inability
They look cool. The kind of test tubey kind of like.
the marketplace is kind of what led him toward like the black market and the criminal underworld.
Oh, is that the runic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just got
The
that.
Jade Brotherhood, one of
I've got it on the
biggest
Sura,
models
so it looks
is
completely
that they're
different.
actually alive.
You can't see like any of the
Really
details.
understand them, but also just
Are those
things
engineers'
that they
boots?
do, you know,
Yeah, the Magitech ones, the ones you can
Oh.
buy. They're the gemstone
Dope.
ones, though.
of,
Yeah.
building destructive weapons and
But they're very good.
things that June would never allow Sunlight to do.
Yeah, Mace's
So,
new.
they don't have many limits.
I'm not
They
sure
don't-
what
they
the-
don't have many boundaries.
I don't think there is another
in the Jade
weapon.
Brotherhood, but the other interesting difference between the two of them
There's
is
something.
that while June came from this humble upbringing and that she's always sort of fought against this perception, he on the other
Probably
hand
pistol,
came from a very
yeah.
wealthy background from one of Cantha's
I mean, they're all engineers, I
most
guess.
wealthy families, most well-known families. His mom,
The
Matron
engineer
Park, is somebody we
expansion.
never meet, but who
Yeah, I
looms
told you.
large. Her
It is.
story has spread.
You played the turtle.
And he's actually a really fun character to write because even though we've focused a lot on his negative qualities, he's actually incredibly charismatic. That's one of the things that makes him an effective leader, an effective businessman. And sometimes he brings the party. Sometimes Chulmu brings the party. And yeah, so he's just been, as with all these characters, he was a lot of fun to write.
Honestly, every time you say that he brings the party, I kind of laugh because I can see his weapon. I want him to have the moot.
Oh yeah.
I just,
yeah.
it seems like it would fit. Okay, so on the
That's the
total
one.
other
That's
end
what
of
I
that
was going
spectrum
for
is
until I heard about the new, until I heard about the new legendary. We had decided on stream that I was going for Moot. Wait, what? Who's that? Oh wow.
Which is the other major gang of Ekavald, and not only do they butt heads with the Jade Brotherhood over territory and
Wait,
resource
what?
control, it's also they have completely ideologically opposed. The Jade Brotherhood
I'm having
are
a
all
visceral
about
reaction right
technology,
now. I'm having
technology with no
a very
limits.
deep reaction.
And on the other hand, the
Wait,
speakers
is that the Wardens?
oppose the expansion of Jade technology.
Is that a warden?
It has
Tetra's
a hammer.
warden.
Beaker.
Players of Guild Wars 1 will
Tetra's the-
recognize wardens.
oh, Tetra is a warden.
They
Oh.
are forest
Yeah.
spirits who defend the forest mostly from humans and from the encroach of civilization.
I want Sylvari
The story
customization.
is
Yes.
that they actually
Like,
were once
go this route.
Persics who went through this ceremony to become
Yeah,
these eternal
more
forest
tree,
spirits. So she's been around a long time, and she sees this approach of Jade technology as something that's a direct threat to the natural world, and has managed to amass these followers.
I like
humans,
that,
other
actually.
wardens,
That's cool.
who a whole
That's more
motley
your
assortment of
hippie
people who
kind of
feel the
class.
same way.
Your hippie
Yeah,
level. Don't
Tetra-
want it to sound like offensive.
It's interesting how
Like,
she's the
you're-
leader of the speakers,
you know what I
which
mean,
is
you
a
know what I'm
very
trying to say.
kind of diverse group, a diverse gang that has members of many different species, including humans, but at the same time she despises humans, right?
Yeah.
Because of what what she perceives they've done in the Ekavald wilds, and that's a very interesting dynamic within the culture.
That is most of the player base,
Yeah,
I guess.
absolutely. I mean, she has, you know, because she has humans in her group, and she does
Female
not
meta.
disguise her
Yeah.
contempt for them. You know,
That's all right.
I think they are all, you know, they all very much believe in the cause, which is why they deal with it. But she's not very nice to them.
Yeah, she's very direct, right?
Yeah, she's very direct. There is no BS with her. She says what she means, and she means what she says.
No matter how hurtful.
Yeah, no matter how much it might harm her followers.
Yeah, super blunt, but you know, she's getting stuff done. So,
Yeah.
All right, well, that is a run
She's
through
killing
of
lots of
some of
people.
our
That's
characters
good.
that are coming with the End of Dragons. Thank you both for spending some time telling us about that. Thank you all.
I'm surprised they didn't
Please
talk
don't
about
go
like
anywhere. We're
Yao
going to
or
take a very
Oreen or
quick break and we'll come
Caladris.
back with a
Yeah,
Guild
but they've
Hall
probably
tour
got
for you.
only a certain amount of time for a start. And
They killed Aureen and turned her into weapons.
yeah, so every single little bit of like, you know, the entirety of the player base, like you have to think about how much Aureen there is to kind of divvy up.
What if Aureen dies and at the very end her corpse becomes a mining node that you just mine from?
Oh yeah, I can get
Wow,
behind
that's
that.
more morbid.
Wow, this is escalating fast here.
Like
Holy
at the end of
shitballs.
the at the end of the the last season, she was literally a mining node. Like, I mean, you know, that makes some sense. They've already got the graphic for it. They don't need to design it anyway.
This guild hall is so beautiful. Quickly just diverting from that conversation.
Good call.
But just like the screenshots that we're getting, I'm gonna move my guild hall now. Yeah.
I like the music, to be honest. I just like the music
Oh,
they
that's
keep
the
showing us
soundtrack.
as well. That is very good. Yeah, but this looks cool. I like the kind of more ruined stuff. Yeah, it needs to be more open. Just as I literally say that word, we go into a small mine. Good timing. Well done.
But you love dwarves, Jebro. You should love mines.
Yeah, but they're not going to be here, are they, Kroof? Like, stop bringing that up. Like,
Make a Norn and make a shrunk tonic with the stone infusion, and there you go.
you do realize that the first infusion I got was the stone infusion because it was the dwarfs.
Well, the
I was
first
like,
infusion I got was the ghostly infusion because it dropped for me.
oh yeah, actually I did get that first. That's true. Yeah, I don't know the guild. Well, the thing is like, you know, we're talking about different guilds, Gilded Hollow and everything else. Like the problem I have is like, what's going to make this guild hall a place where you want to actually go and stay in there for a while and do something? Like, what is going to be
Fishing.
the thing?
Yeah, fishing.
Fishing? Okay, yes. Yeah. That's true. But
I would love like a strike mission portal. Like they can utilize a lot more things with that. Or like maybe even in the guild hall, there's like a guild mission where like a bounty pops up every like week or so and you fight it in the guild hall as a guild.
is
I
a
don't
guild
know.
a guild mission? Wow, guild missions.
A guild
Like,
mission inside the guild hall.
I mean, that would be cool. I'm gonna definitely write down some stuff just to make sure. So I've got some notes. Guild hall stuff.
New guild missions would be lovely. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
We've been talking about that for so long.
How many years?
Yeah. It's. How do you feel about guild missions and guild halls, Preston?
I don't do them and I don't care.
I thought your face was like, you were just like, I don't know.
well,
I'm not sure how
yeah,
into
it's-
it you are.
I think it'll be fine and good for people that like that stuff. So I do dungeon speed clears and I do raids and I do content that no one does anymore.
Yeah.
And the stuff
dungeons
that
good.
everyone does, I just don't
Also
jive with
World
it.
versus World? Wow.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I like to duel people on Boon Scrapper.
Bad joke.
Yeah, Boon
one can- no
Scrapper,
one can beat
yay!
Permanent every boon but Alacrity, and people can't win. Except for Break Enchantment Warrior, which they should ban. Unbalanced, unfair.
Oh, but
Or
don't
a-
ban the build that can provide every boon except Alacrity.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
or a good Reaper.
Our final guild
Should be
chat
able to
of the
be.
year.
I would have
Yeah.
thought.
Again for spending
They're
Very
no
good.
match for my speed hacks.
Oh dear.
What's going on with End of Dragons and some little
Okay, Guild Hall.
previews. We are ready for our Guild Hall tour with our next developer guest. Hi, Erin. Thank you for joining.
Hi, thanks, Ruby. Hi, my name's Erin Amschlinger. I am a writer and a narrative designer here at ArenaNet. And I've had the opportunity to work on this expansion pretty much since it began production. And one of the things that I had the chance to write for that Ruby and I are going to show you here today is the Isle of Reflection, which is this expansion's newest guild hall.
Yeah, so if you were here for the Xingje Island map tour way back when, one of the things that we went to was this portal that I am in front of in game. And at the time we said, we're not going to talk about this now, we're going to talk about it more later. And later has arrived. So let's jump in and
those daggers look like swords.
Yes, I would in fact like to continue
so
to
big.
the island.
Yeah, those are huge.
Yeah, they're
Even
a
the
bit.
load screen, I love the load screen so much. It's
I kind of like that though. Like
this
have it because
entire,
daggers you wield them
section
differently
is
than a
just
sword.
visually
You could have some
stunning
sword
in so
skins as a
many ways.
dagger.
So
Yeah, I mean, there's
Ruby's
the
gonna
World
take
v
us on
World
a little
season
tour here.
daggers, which kind of look
So
like
tell us,
swords.
where are we? What is this place? Because there's some history here.
Yeah, this is an island off the southern coast of Xingje, which is one of the main areas we'll be visiting in the expansion. And for those of you who have been with the franchise for a while, you may recognize this location from Winds of Change. The guild arena that we're going to be visiting here in a few minutes is actually the same arena that you had defeated Riko Murakami in during that Winds of Change.
Yeah, so we're going to head there shortly, but right now
Interesting.
I'm going to go up this way toward the marketplace. And while I'm walking, for those of you who need to capture this guild hall, how does that work? Because this is a little bit different from guild hall to guild hall. So how is it for this?
Sure, I'll give you just a little bit of a rundown of the
I
expedition
don't need them to tell me
that you're gonna be going
everything.
on here. So essentially, you have been enlisted by the Canthan government to help out with this island. There have been some reports that there are squatters around the area, just stirring up trouble, basically. So you are going to meet up with Casimir, who we obviously know from the main game, and then 2 other characters who we meet in End of Dragons, Akane and Beyond. And you, with your guild, are going to go through and basically just clean up the riffraff that's roaming around the island and get things back in shape. And then you'll be able to claim the isle for your guild.
Yeah. And a fun thing about this, smaller guilds, this will scale down for smaller guilds. So if there's just a handful of you and you like your small guild friend group, we've got you covered.
Absolutely. The difficulty will be proportionate for you guys.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to note is that some people decorated this guild hall for us. We've been finding decorations in real time. It does not come like this with like random snow off in the corner.
Yeah, the snow is not included.
It is snow sold separately. It is.
I like
it
that,
is
though.
an interesting
It shows
journey.
off
We
kind of
found
like
some.
what
We found
players
some
will
fun things.
put
So
into
those of
the
you who
guild
decorated
hall.
it, we love
Yes.
you. You've been making us laugh all morning. All right, so let's look around here. I need to go down a
It
little bit
looks
because
more
on my
like
sky scale, I'm like
homes
always
in
got
the
the roof.
instance, like
So
actual
Ruby is,
homes.
taking us
Like,
through the more central area of the
Also,
island right
that
now.
crystal
We're
is
headed into the
so
marketplace.
cool.
And
It's
for those of you
serene.
who have played guild halls,
There you go.
you're gonna see some of
That's
same
the mining
structures
node.
you've seen in
Excellent.
past guild halls. So I'll just
Glad
kind
they
of point
put it
those
in
out
so quickly.
as we go. And any
Honestly, the
unique
guild hall crystal
decorations
as a
worth
mining node would be
noting,
pretty
anything
great.
worth commenting?
Yeah, it would be.
All right, let's go this way.
That'd be like
over
a
to
pretty
the
cool
closed room and
statement
take a
piece.
look.
I'm kind of gutted. There was supposed to be a story around the crystal in center, and they just dropped it.
That part. Exactly, Fornax.
Was there?
I've never let go of that. Yeah, they had mentioned in Heart of Thorns that the crystal would be a really important story thing that would develop over time, and it never did.
oh, that's old school. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Here's a decoration that we have found.
I've never
sure
seen
is
that before.
awesome.
That looks like something from Divinity's Reach.
Not you right
Yeah, Winter's Day, I think.
Okay.
All right, I'll finish this loop.
That's
and
cool.
Let's
I like that.
head over to the workshop. And I need to.
It's
open my map
beautiful.
again, make
It
sure
looks.
I
It
understand
looks.
where I am.
It's very
Yeah, the
different.
workshop
They're
is
all
just
very
a little
different,
bit south
which
of
is
where
good.
the war room is located.
I'm
and
just
over there,
very
we
like
have
guild
plenty of
halls.
space
I'm
for,
like very
crafting,
hesitant to get excited about because they just seem to be buffs and then that's it. There's no real like, and you know, gathering nodes. I don't even do that.
Yeah, I agree. I feel so bad. I have this beautiful guild hall, and I feel like it should be filled with role players. Instead, it's just people running in to farm the nodes, you know?
Yeah.
Let's go over to.
There's not
There's
many
even
like.
spoilers in the guild hall.
Priorities are in order.
Oh.
Yeah, so making our way over to the tavern. It's a place you can socialize, gain experience, buffs, grab a drink.
I love
after
that
a
it's
hard day of
enclosed in like an
guilding, what
actual
have you.
restaurant home area.
Yes.
I feel like
I'm
Guild Wars
so
2 kind of
jealous.
misses
It's like,
that.
yeah,
a little
this
bit.
looks, that is enough sushi for like 12 people. That's excessive.
Got banners in there as well. That's cool.
All right, how about up to the arena?
Sure, and we're gonna swing over to the arena. Or, well, actually, this
All right.
is,
Look, y'all.
we can't leave this
That's really good. Those are really
That was
good.
perfect.
Actually.
It was
We haven't got
extremely
I
deal
see
with it.
about making those.
All right, let's
I
go
want to see
up
like a
to the
Jade
arena,
version
and we will.
where
I
it's
love
green
him.
instead
Yeah,
of
yeah,
purple.
yeah. That'd be
Jade
cool.
Hollow Dancer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoever put that there, I love you.
So it's gonna be hard to top that, but
Hey, Blade Runner.
we're making our way back to the arena, and this is the area I had mentioned earlier. Where
Balloons.
Oh, we can get balloons too.
You can get balloons. It's not included. Also, phone.
Ruby's making
All right,
sure like
I'm
everyone's
hopeful I keep
aware of
getting
the stuff
distracted by
that's
how
not
beautiful it is.
included.
But all right, so here's the arena that you mentioned. What are we? What's
Yeah, so
going on here?
we can use this area to practice our combat. It's a lovely seaside location,
Yeah.
and like I said, it has historical significance and in a great spot. So, not a
Yeah.
bad deal.
Yeah, it is.
Lion
absolutely
not
gorgeous.
included either, just
So,
pointing that out.
speaking of seaside, I'm just gonna pop right over here, and let's get my skiff up and running, shall we?
Cool. Yeah, this being an island location, one thing we really wanted to take advantage of was some of the new features we're going to be seeing here in End of Dragons, and one of these Ruby's showing us right now is the skiffs.
Yeah, and if you've been watching skiffs on various Guild Chat episodes, hey, Snow, you'll notice that our
Nice.
icons got an upgrade. One of the things that we've talked
That's the
about
boat
is this
them
is
winning
a work in
island
progress,
there.
is things like
Nice.
temporary icons as just little work in progress reminders. Let's see, so I'm looking for a fishing node, and like we've talked about before, you can fish literally anywhere there's water. Fishing nodes just give you a better chance at good stuff happening.
Yeah, just prime real estate for the fish market. And
This is so
yeah, we
cool.
just wanted to let you know as well that past guild halls that have water accessibility, you will be able to use your skiffs there.
Yeah.
Ah.
Anywhere that, well,
good.
all guild
That's
halls
good.
you can fish. Anywhere where there is water deep enough to swim in. Okay. I got distracted talking about fishing and just rammed my boat into a rock. It's fine. Everything is fine. Any place that has water deep enough to swim in, you can use a skiff. All the guild halls you can go fishing in. There are also going to be End of Dragons guild hall decorations as well.
Exactly. So
notes
you
for
can pick those
Anya.
up. Any previous guild hall upgrades that you may have had will also carry over to this hall.
Yeah, you don't have to re-earn those all over again, just like the other
I
guild
want to see
halls.
the new
All right,
decorations.
so that's a little tour of the Isle of Reflection Guild Hall. I'll do
Should
this
be
one
more.
more time just for people who are screenshotting. All right, we have one more thing. We're going to take you through part of the Arborstone Revitalization Mastery Track. Aaron, thank you so much for coming and running us through this with me. And all of you stick around. We will be back in just a couple minutes.
Thanks.
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I've already decided that my guild is moving to that Hall of Reflection, so that's a done deal now.
You kind of have to, right?
Absolutely.
Just like to check it out at the very least, and then move back when you get bored. I don't know. We kind of moved around a bit. Different guilds. I don't know. I thought they were doing. Are they not doing the legendary stuff today?
They did at the beginning.
They just showed that. They're not going to go into any more detail.
No.
I thought they were.
They kind of talk about everything.
What?
They're like,
Well, I wanna
here's
see
the
more.
concept. There will be a blog post after the stream that they said they will shoot up. But they showed us like concept art. I was hoping to see like an actual feature of like the different models and like the precursor model as well. Like at least the precursor.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna get that relatively quickly if you've done your living Return of the Dragons achievements. And also you can get your legendary amulet now. Go do that. It's fun.
I totally haven't done any of that.
Same.
I am. I have got to do
legendary
this.
amulet.
I've got to do this. I did it. I've got to do the story. I normally every week, like when it comes out after a couple of days, I'll do the meta event stuff so I can get it done. But loads of people are going to do it. And everyone's going to be doing it up until the expansion anyway.
Just seeing so many Tengu, it's still it's a fresh wound.
Wow. You're still not over this?
It's not that I'm not over it. I've accepted it, and I'm slowly moving on.
I'm talking about playable race.
Yeah. It's a process, Jabro. It takes time.
Yeah, no, I should understand that.
Time heals most wounds, just not this one. But it's shrinking.
I don't understand why they won't just pull the pin and do it. I don't understand.
Trying to think about other MMOs that haven't added new races over the course of time.
Can we amend that? Any successful MMOs that have not added new races?
Well, there is that. There is none, is there? Probably. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online hasn't really added races, I guess. Because everything is like human shaped. Like it's pretty easy. Everything is literally the same. Like other than.
Do they have more character customization that comes in incrementally, or do they not do that?
Sometimes, yeah. Not massively, but a lot of it is just armor and like because you can get piercings and stuff, like head bits and like
head piercings.
Yeah, head piercings for Argonians. Yeah, lizard peeps.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can get like piercings on the head and like neck and.
Welcome back to our.
You can be a lusty Argonian maid.
Yeah, if you want to. The lusty Argonian maid is in there somewhere.
This episode, we're going to go through
Classic.
part of the Arborstone Revitalization Mastery Track. If you are familiar with factions, you're familiar with Arborstone, so the look of this might be familiar to you.
Played it, and I forgot
joining
I played
us
it.
to help out with this is Morgan is back. Thank you for sticking around.
Yep.
Morgan's awesome.
And Annie is joining us from home. Hi, Annie.
Hi, I'm Annie Vandermeer. I'm a senior game designer at ArenaNet. I worked on various parts in End of Dragons, and most notably, what I've been so eager to show you guys for so long now is Arborstone and its associated track.
Yeah. All right, so I am inside Arborstone in game. Morgan's gonna join my party and hop in here. So Annie, why don't you start us by telling us what this place is? What's it for?
So Arborstone is an open world social space that's inspired by and using some of the tech from Sun's Refuge and Eye of the North, and the population right now, size for Arborstone is around about the Eye of the North, but as you can get a sense of here, and we'll definitely see later, it's way bigger. It is a large space.
Whoa.
It's heckin' huge. And the mastery is a cool element of it that the more you put into it, the more you'll see this space develop and open up things like new vendors and a cool new buff and so on, which we'll show you a little bit of.
Yeah, let's go ahead. And Morgan, what's the story behind this? I'll let you kind of talk to us from
so this
what
is
the
like
background
this is like Eye of the North. They're just saying it's pretty much the same.
Yes. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to harass my Kestrel friend here. Yes, so the Kestrels. I've talked about them a few times now. I talked about them with the Ekvald Wilds, talked about them with Ayumi, but the Kestrels are a group that formed in the time of the Ministry of Purity to bring Tengu to Ekvald so that they had a safe location, a safe haven.
Casserole.
They taught them to live here. They taught them to live with the elements and to stay out of
Not
sight.
the casserole
Now, when the
Tengu.
Ministry of Purity fell,
The casserole
the Kestrels
Tengu.
stuck around, even though they didn't have that job
Thanksgiving
anymore. They decided to
Tengu.
stay on as these rangers that patrolled and protected Ekvald. Now, when they first arrived in Ekvald, they found Arborstone the way that we left it in Guild Wars 1, a ruin. And they used that ruin as a place to hide, as a waypoint, a place where refugees could come and find them and connect. And because it was a ruin, people weren't really patrolling it, they were ignoring it. And then once the ministry fell, they decided to build it they decided to start rebuilding it, make it a more permanent home. Now, because they're rangers and they're not interior decorators, they are not city planners, they kind of just left it like this. It served their purposes. It's like if they could put down a bedroll and, make themselves some food over the fire, they were happy. But now that they've aligned with the player, they are allowing the player to turn it into more of a proper headquarters and build it up even more.
Yeah. All right, well, let's start looking around because we are just here at the very beginning of this. Annie, where should we go first? You're the tour guide here.
I think the first stop in our tour should be to your left.
All right.
Where we will see the strikes area. This is basically a nice place to gather your party before.
Oh, there's a strike portal in Eye of the North. I thought it was new.
There will give you access to.
Yeah, the Eye of the North, the strike portal is like very much the center of it. One of the centers of it, I guess. When you get in there, it's just like strike portal. Whereas this is more to the side, I guess.
Be able to get stuff, repair your equipment, run around and dance on things like Morgan has been doing, just epitomizing a cat.
One thing that I want to mention, like Annie was saying, you level this up for your own mastery track, but this is an open world location. So you're going to see different things than others might be who are at different points on the masteries. So right now I'm at mastery level 2 for Arborstone revitalization. That's a mouthful. And Morgan is at level 0.
I am the newbie. I am the newbie. Mine's very empty. It's just
I guess it's client side
but Morgan,
where other people
when we hop over to Morgan's gameplay every once in a while,
yeah. So is this similar to like Sun's Refuge, what they wanted to do there?
Hop over here and talk about that.
Maybe.
I don't even know what Sun's Refuge is.
So you can see
in the story. It's in
right from the beginning, and so is this.
Yeah, it's like Eye of the North, where if you've unlocked the vendors, you see them. If you haven't unlocked the vendors, you don't. It's individual, right?
Really cool looking that I can't quite divulge yet, but you can see. I mean, there's room for expansion here. One might say this commerce.
But like this is mastery.
I would be the one who would.
I think I'm having a Brazil moment where I'm just like disengaging right now.
But I want to take a moment to admire this big scary friend over here because the model is gorgeous.
Don't you just want him to give you a hug?
Okay, I'm conflicted about this. Like we've talked about this. There's a lot of
that's where you did the sky scale stuff. Right.
I don't have sky scale. Oops.
At the end, and there's so much potential for like painful pinching.
How do you live? I mean, you just do strikes and dungeons, you said, so you don't need it.
I'm willing to take the.
You don't need it well for you, either.
Are you? All right.
Damn, I thought I was a slacker. I'm feeling better about myself right now.
Let's continue on and see. Oh, hello. I don't like this, not one bit.
I would like to know how many people in the game actually have sky scale, because I feel like it's only people who do meta events.
Kestrels that I talked about with Yumi. They don't like us.
Not the dialogue spoiling things.
So I need to point out this is extremely cat behavior. Someone's sleeping and you're running over their head.
Is that straw poll time?
All right, so I've got a couple of. God, you're just like, please.
Yeah, Warclaw is actually the one that people don't have the most, probably as well.
But actually, like, wait. So how many refugees?
I have 2 refugees.
I have 1 refugee.
Yeah. So Annie, why did you do that? No. As you level up, more people start filtering in. It gets more populated, and you get more refugees for Morgan to run back and forth over.
Yeah, the Kestrels, they didn't make it as welcoming as you, the player, gets to make it, and so you attract more and more people to this space as it grows.
They definitely got this theme of like as you upgrade and change things, they seem to just.
Let's start right here.
I don't know. They were doing this.
No more.
Huh? Sorry.
There was a hero point there.
So tell us about the training area.
Maybe. Could just be like an NPC.
Where, the Kestrels have been training to shoot well, to kick the crap out of their foes. They've given
because this is in the expansion,
and
like
move quietly.
Eye of the North isn't an expansion thing, is it? It's just everyone gets
RE.
Not everyone's gonna get this.
Careful talking, maybe calling on some people in the audience, and then the occasional moment where they just
call on me.
Whack the heck out of that dummy a little bit.
And the Tengu have sit animations.
More and more people show up as this lecture becomes more and more popular. This guy knows.
They'll put it in the gem store. It'll be fine.
People who are well known and.
I mean, that's not even a bad idea, to be fair. They could have done that over a while. Just have an intro area for them, and then just.
And she gives you a lore quiz. No, she.
This is not a lore quiz.
Yeah.
It is pain.
It's a
Here we
quiz
have a
in
char.
pain.
Ultimate Tengu
Here we have
on
a
the
char.
gemstone.
Okay.
That's what's going to be.
She's so big.
Big. She's a
So
big
big.
bird.
People have been, and
Yeah.
some MMOs have had races added on stores.
But
She's
they are very
wonderful.
beautiful. So beautiful.
I think.
She is fantastic. Yeah, so that's the training area. Again, I'm at level 2.
I would pay.
There will be more and more
I think people
here
would.
as
I would
you
pay.
level up your Arborstone Revitalization Mastery. All right, moving on in our tour.
I mean, why
Where are we
not?
heading next, Danny?
10, 15 bucks. What's
Oh, we're
that?
heading
Play a new race.
To the right, up the stairs, the very long
worth the money.
stairs, because again, this is a huge, big old area.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to fly through the chandelier.
Chat, would you do it?
So
Would
let's
you
come
pay
up here, and
for
we're just going to pause.
Yep, we're gonna take a little
Tengu if it was on the gem
Just to
store?
highlight that even though
There you
I keep
go.
saying Tengu,
And how much would you pay?
Yeah, that's true. How much would you pay?
I'd pay like 15 to
And then
Of
link
course,
this to the
fans will
accountants at
anybody
ArenaNet.
like
That's what you have to do.
There you go.
called Safe. They're going to be represented within the ranks of the
Someone
Capitals.
says no.
And Kurziks.
And you can say why you wouldn't pay for it as well.
Yeah, so
You pay $100? Amazing.
Don't inflate the prices. People did that with the Reddit and the mounds, and then they dropped 2,000 gem price mounds.
Preston bringing the RoboCop,
Curious.
the RoboCop reference there. Love it. I forgot that as a sound effect on my channel. Exclamation mark SFX dollar. You can won't work now, but
Frightening me, so up the stairs.
$20. I think that's fair. I think that's okay. If you get like an intro story and stuff.
Or it's like, you know,
Just like, I wanna go
if you sell a Living World season pass,
I thought you says if you sell a part of your body.
no.
I'm not sure that's worth it, Kroof. Yeah, I'll just sell my
What do
left
you
foot.
think of me? What do you think of me, Jabba?
I don't know. You really do want the Tengu. I'm just saying.
Strange things.
More than once,
I mean,
I didn't get too close to the edge.
It's like a fingernail.
We're high enough where there's birds roosting.
Sure.
Screw.
All right, let's come
That's
up
worse.
with-
Oddly
That's more painful.
specific. Have you considered this before?
Yeah, just a fingernail.
Let's look and see what else we have here. Who else we are
So
memorializing.
this is an area that if
Honestly,
if
you're gonna have to
familiar with
forgive me because I'm a bit bitter about the gem store because I bought basically all the mount skins to make shogus, so you know how much that costs. So
areas to some of
they've had all my money. That's so.
and this is basically trying to recreate that. So you, of course, get to see tributes to Archimedes and Saint Victor. They would argue they are the most important, I'm sure. But also some of those names from Guild Wars factions like Kaolai. And
Hey.
again, just like in other areas, the more you invest in the points in the Arborstone revitalization, the more entries you're going to see pop in. And perhaps people checking out the space and making a little.
Oh, so this is kind of like a lore mastery as well.
You see,
And
you
maybe
see the
even a better
candles
one than
and
Heart of
pillars
Thorns,
here
actually
that aren't
giving you
filled out
lore.
yet, so I'm excited to see who else.
Who
All right.
shall appear?
Onward and
Oh
upward.
yeah, and speaking of pilgrimages and
Hey.
religious thingies,
Let's see how we time this
Religious
entrance.
thingies.
So where are we now? Oh, it was perfect. Here's the sad guy.
Oh, okay. That's quite cool.
So I don't have him on my screen,
Really?
but since I wrote him, I know what he's about. But yes, so while a little bit of high-level news did manage to make it to some of the really like high authority figures, you know, the Empress, the heads of the ministries, the average Canthan knows nothing about what happened on the outside world. And so at many points in the story, we are going to be bringing news about all that has transpired to the ordinary Canthan and see the way how they are reacting uniquely to things that have occurred elsewhere. And one of those is the revelations that we share about the departure of the gods, about the death of Balthazar. And the Kurziks, being a very religious people, are mostly not taking that news well, such as him feeling very abandoned. Others, on the other hand, you know, there's quite a variety of reactions. Some people are like, I always thought it was a bit of a crock anyways. But, you
Do
know,
some interesting
but
stuff
most
with
people are pretty
Casimir
broken
now.
up about it. So this is a good example of one of those cases where we see how Cantha is adapting to this modern age and all the news that it brings. So.
Yeah. And we have statues
No
of the
email.
human gods here. So, and Dwayna's is the biggest.
yeah, Arborstone was formerly not the seat of power, but one of the seats of power of House Zuheltzer, which was the most powerful of the 5 ruling houses of the Kurziks. And each one of them had a patron
Disrespectful.
Why is that
deity.
child violating the statue?
Got right up on her head there.
Desecrating.
Look, having a fun time. And a Char. Char, like,
In charge.
I always thought the gods were done. But Dwayna was the patron deity of House Duhelzer, so that's why she kind of has the biggest billing, so to speak, in this space.
Yeah.
And gets her
Sorry, Dwayna.
head danced on by Char.
I'm kneeling in apology. I'm sorry.
It's
Dwayna.
showing proper respect.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the things that we've talked about over and over is how this is a work in progress, and there's a lot of gameplay work to be done, but there are also little touches like all of these pews. You're going to be able to sit on those. As soon as someone gets all that seating in, right, Annie?
The role players are going to have a field day with
that
this.
will be a thing. I'm like, this is a
I
task.
think they
It's
probably
on my
will.
list. I'm trying to think how many butts can fit in those seats. Like, I'm doing the math.
How many butts
I'll
in
get
a
it
single
done.
pew?
All right, I just want to come out here for just a moment and admire the view, because one thing that you'll see as we progress through here is that as the day progresses, the light changes, and it is so dramatic in such a wide, soaring, open space that you can
there's an
really
exit
see that
portal.
difference.
I wonder if they're going to have a little
This
jumping
area,
puzzle in
again,
there as
being
well.
extremely close to the edge, but carefully. This is an area out the back of the main area.
I mean, there's so
Yeah,
much
this is all
verticality in the
accessible,
load
right?
of the maps. They
Yep.
wouldn't miss that
totally
trick, would they?
The
And
trees.
so pretty. Like,
They're
our
finally looking
artist
up, and the
Justin,
trees look so good.
I mean, I work in this space a lot, and every time I do, I'm still just like, it's so lovely.
Yeah,
I
lighting.
want to do
Yeah.
it
really beautiful.
absolute justice. It's so gorgeous. Justin kicks butt.
Justin is fantastic, and
I guess that's the
work
one
put in
thing
on
that we
this
can
has
all
been
count
great.
on is the fact that
All
it's going to
let's
be
keep going.
absolutely beautiful
I'm
in
pretty
all
sure
the
it's no
environments
sky
without
scales in the
fail.
chapel, and yet here we
Yes.
are.
They've always done that throughout.
How are they going to tell
Even
you
in the
no?
vanilla game, it was
Commander.
beautiful
who's
for its
gonna
time.
I mean, there's nobody here yet.
sure.
Well, nobody who can reach me. That giant tango is going to be an issue.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
let's
yeah,
head
don't let
over
Kroof run
to. Let's head over here to. I have a mess hall.
I don't have
Oh, yeah.
anything.
Oh,
It's just
no.
empty space.
I have
Oh.
I want to call this out just because it's going to get fixed, but the chairs haven't arrived yet in gameplay development, and I love that she's just like very resentfully and passive aggressively sitting on the floor, like sit here.
I'll drink my coffee.
Her legs are tired. She needs
right?
to sit.
She needs a switch.
Some days
Yeah, we
you
don't
just
have
need
chairs yet, so she's mad about it. So like you don't even have her.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope,
All right.
mine has yet to
So
be built out.
let's talk about the mess hall, Annie.
So the mess
New
hall,
AI feature,
basically the way
malicious
that we
compliance. I like
approached
it.
Some elements of the revitalization is the whole hierarchy of needs idea. That, of course, the first step is food and shelter. And here's the food aspect of that. So all of a sudden, the Kestrels have a place to get some grub, albeit maybe not the best grub, as you will see communicated over there.
I'm
And there's
sorry, I
Sam,
have
and of
to.
course
Yeah,
there's
let's talk about
Speaking of
Sam just
grub,
real quick.
As the
First of
cat.
all,
My name's
he's
Sam.
he's
That's
the
the
motoring.
cat. Oh yeah, these are cats that I mean, as more people arrive in the space and there's more food, you're gonna get rats, and then of course you get working kitties like Lil Sam, who she is beautiful and hardworking. And if a rat should appear, she shall chase them down immediately. And of course you can play with them because
You
it is
play with her.
it is a design standard I have proudly held throughout my career, that if there are animals that are good animals in the space, cats and doggos, you can pet them. Yeah. That's an Annie promise to you.
Yeah. So that was a tiny sidetrack, and I'm sorry, but that was your first cat, so I wanted to make sure we gave Sam a little bit of love.
Yeah,
All right.
it's very appreciated.
Yeah. All right, so we're at level 2. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to talk to the quartermaster. I don't think you've.
I do not have the quartermaster.
Quartermaster shows up, and things are getting a little bit better.
So the quartermaster will have some access to some cool little things that you can buy, and also give a good sort of state of affairs of how things are at your sort of level of mastery. At first, they're like, well, you've got the basics. At the level at Ruby's at, there's Pepper and Dill, and they have a kitchen. And I think that's very important because Dill and Pepper are delicious with eggs. And I'm not even going to say anything about Tengu in that sort of regard where they get the eggs.
Oh no!
Oh,
Annie!
Oh.
I hadn't gone there.
I
hadn't gone there either.
There is a lot. I feel like they're revealing a lot of this place as well, and I'm just like, you need to tell us all of this stuff.
The ratio of what they've shown might not be the best. Like, I would have rather have seen more of the legendary weapons than like going to an area to see like how you acquire it, or like a small segment of the journey, rather than just like exploring a Eye of the North 2.0.
No Tom.
Yeah, it's just like
These vendors better be spectacular if I have to like shove a load of time into this.
Yeah.
Dispensing legendaries is what I'm going to require for doing all this.
Yeah, or dispensing like certain things that you need for like your elite specialization, armor or weapons. Like that could be something a bit flavorful. Like having a trainer in this area that's like specific to your profession. I'm a stickler for like profession trainers, so I was sad when they left, but you know, you could do something with that, I guess.
Yeah, did they had profession training? Did they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Jesus, that was so long ago then.
My fire is
I can't
dead.
believe they forgot about that. What did they do? What
They
did,
give you traits.
did they give you traits? Wow, I can't remember that. It must have been. They must have got that away with that. Right, they must have got rid of that so long ago.
And with the as with other areas in the area.
Yeah, I like profession trainers.
In Arborstone,
Like in
as
WoW
you're
and stuff, you know, and you got those
mastering
areas
you're gonna
dedicated to
see,
different
more
like classes and stuff and everything.
Skyrim too.
Chefs and servers.
Yeah,
that are showing up
yeah.
To help ferry food into a increasingly populated mess
I wonder
hall.
if there's a fishing
all these
area,
different
like a
things moving
fishing.
space.
I haven't
And also
actually played the
cats
new
in the
one.
mess hall.
Well,
You will see
new
other
one.
cats. You will see my other cats appear in there, because I'm the developer that owns the space, and I'm gonna name cats after my cats if I can.
This is very
Another Anna
role
guarantee.
play focused.
All right,
I
we're
feel
gonna go to one of
it
my
is kind of
favorites now.
touching
She's
more on the
great.
RPG
I love
element
her.
that is Guild Wars 2. So
Jewelry station.
on that
We can
aspect,
look
I
at
do
her-
enjoy
Yeah,
it.
I'm
But
looking at
as
your
for a
screen now.
stream,
Look at all her
Oh,
magic.
she's
I don't know if people really wanted to
She's
see this.
wonderful. But
I think that's something that they've missed a mark on the past couple of times, maybe.
this is my
But-
issue.
Maybe not. I don't know.
It's weird because
But I'm gonna talk to her.
yeah, there's
and
definitely
let
less
her know
viewers
her name.
for sure.
So what's her story?
I do feel like this stuff. They've had some streams which have been really good, and we've commented on them. We've been like, yeah, this was amazing. Like,
Jadka, the Jade Automata
I can't remember
designer
what
for
was.
who technically is
What was the one Kroof we were talking about? We were talking about
She is a piece of jewelry.
how good it was compared to the one
Was it
we had before.
JC?
Great.
Yeah. Jade C was pretty
So
good.
There are more crafting
That was
stations.
good.
You don't just get cooking and jewelry crafting, but we'll get there. For now.
I think I was in the middle of a disaster when that was happening, and I didn't really get to watch all of it.
Yeah, it was actually really good. But this is yeah, I think someone said
Yeah, I know.
someone said fixer up says I've been bored with this, and I'm like, this is a bit boring. I'm not gonna lie, like, and it could be just that I'm not into it that much, but like, you know, I would rather. I'm kind of looking away because I want to explore this myself. They're giving me too much. It was like the guild hall stuff as well. I didn't actually want to see everything in the guild hall. I didn't want to go and see it all.
Yeah, you want to discover that with your friends, right? You want
Yeah.
to all go in like blind and like unlock it and stuff.
Yeah,
Put
completely.
people in charge of scribe.
There's a very cool mechanic with this space.
I think there's still a lot that they didn't show us with the Guild Hall. I mean, in Heart of Thorns, they actually did like a full live stream going in detail, traversing the entire landscape of the Guild Halls. So like this wasn't new to me. I was kind of expecting that.
Yeah.
And it was pretty superficial, I guess. It wasn't too detailed.
I know. I don't actually have the mechanic.
Oh, you have a well-rested buff.
It looks great over here.
It does.
Interesting.
I don't understand. I don't know. What can you guys explain it to me? So they have this technology whereby we can put furniture down, we can have instance-specific items that only you can see if you've done certain things. Why don't we have housing? Why?
I thought this was gonna be like player housing.
It's all those things. It's
I was kind of
It's radness.
I mean, I was expecting like an Eye of the North area to actually be in like New Kainang, but I guess Arborstone is fine. Sure.
We can put numbers to it. It's fine.
Radness.
But yeah,
Well, yeah,
I know a lot of
yeah.
people wanted player housing, and they could sell decorations on the gem store, and player housing people would buy that instantly.
That's gonna
Yeah.
be. It's gonna be next expansion.
favorite
Player housing
salty
end race next expansion.
Out of many salty NPCs.
Ooh, I'm interested about this though.
And there's so many like to pick from.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, what was
Oh, the
that?
portal's just not there for the other person.
So,
Oh,
another thing that's
interesting.
unlocked
At
is,
all.
That step 1 of that mastery is this beautiful surrogate that she'll take you to Scenic Lion's Arch, a very carefully built and negotiated item that, as
So
you
is
can
there
see,
going to be a
the
portal in
Kestrels,
LA to Cantha?
in true Canthan bureaucracy format.
Probably.
Are
I feel really
yeah.
jaded.
rather carefully
Sorry, I feel really
monitoring.
jaded because I've seen this technology,
pun
it's glaring
intended.
technology. Yeah, sorry. In World of Warcraft, in the Cataclysm, which was what 100 years ago. So
Yes.
Yes. One of the first expansions.
Harm, hinder, hooray.
She has a job to do, right? But I love that I can ask her to hurry up, and she's like, "No, absolutely not."
How dare! How dare!
What if there's a seed on your shoe? The world will be over.
Seeds on shoes are pretty serious business.
Okay, but
yeah.
you know what? I'm going to go over here to her cool friend because she's so much better. And the thing I love about this is just such a funny little flavor piece where I'm like, okay, so your friend over there.
But why are you showing? I don't get why they're showing us this. Like, it's such a cool little flavor piece. Don't show us it. Let us discover it. I like it, but it's like, I don't know. This feels like, and no offense to Ruby or anyone else, but like,
Well, go have fun. Whatever.
this isn't necessary. I have a separate stream for this, like where it's just like, this is us going in depth into, etc., etc. It's too
I
much.
think they mislabeled this stream.
Yeah, I think so.
This isn't a game. This is a guild hall and Arborstone showcase.
Yeah.
Or I think this was a kind of an unfortunate mislabeling of the stream, and then people's expectations were different.
The clickbait is real. Yeah, really, the
It's a
clickbait
little-
is.
It's a little. I think it's just bad titling, maybe.
Because the main thing probably I would say a majority of people cared about was probably the legendaries, and the most exciting thing that would have been. Oh, that's- I'm
Like I wanted to know which legendary I want to go for. For this stream, I wanted to know which of the legendaries I was like, ooh, I want that one. And we
Yeah.
saw a short bow and 2 daggers, or 1 dagger because they're both the same skin. So.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it encompasses all interest, doesn't it? So if you're interested in collecting legendary weapons, there it is. Skins, there it is. Story, where you've got to find the lore for the different dragons, there it is.
Yeah.
This is a player hub that you build up that arguably perhaps you should have access to without having to build the resources. Maybe. I mean, prejudging here, of course.
Yeah, it's weird. I think they're trying to do Eye of the North, but better. They're trying, rather than you spending just gold and currency on it, I think they're trying to make you level it up in a different way, which is a little bit more accessible, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of prefer the mastery system over the golden
Yeah, I do as well.
resource drop because it's a little bit like you just naturally get it over time by playing the game, and it doesn't. That's kind of what I'm missing. They haven't told us like why you need these masteries, because this kind of just feels like something you could do at the very end of the expansion when there's like a month drought or something when you don't have anything to do. I want to know like why I would go for Arborstone mastery over the other masteries.
Why is this vital for story progression of the world? Why do I need to do this? Yeah, they haven't got the hook to kind of drag people in for interest. Like for Brazil, it would be, well, if you do this, you'll have access to so-and-so raids and so buffs and so. And for me, it would be, there'd be more story, there'd be more transmogs, you know?
Yeah, that would be really cool too. Like you could only have like this armor crafter that gives you the Canthan armor sets, which means like if you want to go for like armor, you have to build up that mastery to get the crafting master to come over here and start doing that.
Oh yeah.
Elite Lux and armor.
Yeah.
The approach that I like to hear people take.
Or like have like a little mount area where like you bring in a raptor or a springer with like a couple different skins, and then you can purchase those through the stable area.
Yeah.
Imagine, if you will, in-game, a unique mount skin that you could earn via gameplay. Ta-da!
Yep.
Miracles will happen.
Elder Scrolls Online does that pretty well, and also Final Fantasy XIV does that pretty well as far as I know.
They have a healthy mix in Final Fantasy XIV. You can get some beautiful star mounts, but they don't cost a testicle, and you can get some, and you can get some fantastic in-game mounts that you can get from raiding and all sorts of pursuits, like leveling up a specific profession. So I think they need a little bit of balance.
Yeah, I want to be able to like get a
What
mount.
happened if you only got one testicle? It's more difficult to get balance. Sorry.
Well done, sir.
If you have one testicle, you are fine, and everything is good in the world. I'm sorry about that comment. Anyway, yeah, sorry, Kroof.
I agree with you, Fornax. Like mounts are like a currency. It's a transmog currency that players love to acquire and love to collect. So having like I would love to see like a couple mount skins that you unlock when you complete like the final strike mission, like challenge mode. Something to go after that has a little bit more reward to it. And I do think it's a little bit of a shame that we've only had like one mount skin earnable in game, and it's the Warclaw skin. So I would like to see more from that, because they've said that we can get the Raptor and the Springer from playing through End of Dragons. So you can definitely add Raptor and Springer skins and even Skiff skins now by like doing hard endgame content or like fully building up this place.
You could even, I mean, if they really wanted to and they really wanted to do subtle variations, people would go nuts for subtle variations linked to your elite specialization for a mount. Pick one, you know? Yeah. It has a certain skin, it has a certain aura. It doesn't have to be, 17 hours of work for 300 years for one of the artists. It can be a small tweak. It's just something to give a player incentive to know that their time is valued and respected by the game.
I always want to call it something different.
Yeah.
Armor smithing and
yeah, Reader as well. I understand what you're saying. Saying that this might not be for any of us. We might not be the intended audience. Maybe the 2,500 people watching the stream is their more intended audience, and that's fair enough. I just think it's a bit much to go through. I think with the last stream of the year, I don't know.
Yeah, this was not the... For people who like it, I'm happy for you, but for the general population, this is not, I don't think, the thing to end on.
Legendaries would have been.
Yeah, like end on something hype.
Yeah. Remember...
End on like the final part.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we want you to remember the game through the Christmas holidays, through the holidays, into January, and be excited for this. So even just give us like more of a trailer or more of a something. I don't know. Yeah.
Well constructed, but it's still old.
Look at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just weird. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I apologize. At the moment, I'm actually watching the stream on my other monitor, and yeah, people are either interested, asking about more specifics, or going, "What about World v World? What about alliances? What about raids? Have they abandoned raids? Are we not getting any information?" I mean, there's a little bit of that going on, so I think it's not. I think people are reacting similar to us. They weren't expecting this kind of content.
We have alliances this weekend.
Yeah, restructuring. That'll be fun.
I mean, I keep forgetting we do, because there's like there's no mention of it. They're barely talking about it. I'm like, this is like a big deal, man. Like, what's going down?
I did promise my World v World guild I would plug them, so please, I apologize when I do that.
Okay, that's all right.
And I guess they don't. It would, I guess, be a little weird because they already had a stream where they talked about the world restructuring stuff. But because there were bug issues and it wasn't actually able to launch, having a little segment in this stream to remind people, like, hey, we're doing a world restructuring thing. We've fixed the bugs and we're trying it out. That would have been a nice little like 2-3 minute segment just to remind us what's going on this weekend.
They could have said, we know it's been 905 days, 22 hours, 18 minutes, and 29 seconds since the last raid wing, and we've got another one coming for you.
Wow, have you got a countdown timer since that?
I do have a countdown
That's
timer.
amazing. Wait, how many days? 900?
905.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about your thoughts of whether or not you think that's going to be in the future as well, because we've definitely had those conversations.
Treat yourself this Christmas. Go and play Final Fantasy. You'll enjoy it. I promise.
Yeah, but the story. You're gonna play it.
I still have to get to Heaven's Ward. I'm just in the patch before Heaven's Ward, so I'm like, ugh.
Yes, I'm post. I'm in the actual first expansion. It's actually been pretty good.
I have like my.
Even I enjoy the story, and I'm like very impatient when it comes to that kind of thing.
Are you in Heaven's Ward?
I'm the
I
first
just
one.
realized
Yeah.
it's probably not a good sign that we're talking about another game.
Well, this is the problem. This is the thing. Like, this is the literal. Well, I mean,
that's what I'm pointing out. Like, it's not good that we are now going to other games and talking about them when there's a stream happening live.
Preston is talking about like the raid timer and about agonizing about the mom. Doesn't it like they're Preston's actually agonizing too hard about that. It's more like, oh, sounds like an interesting, fun thing to make.
It is what it is.
I do like the fact that they're very excited about this area, because I think their own excitement is what is
Go for it. I give you my blessing.
a part of a lot of these streams. Like, their enjoyment of what they've been creating seems to lead the amount of stuff of what we see in the in these streams. I feel like, you know, CMC's definitely had a lot of time in various places, and I think, you know, that's been something we've been happy to have a lot of elite specialization stuff. But I think actually I was playing elite specialization like last night, and I was thinking, damn, you know, I've kind of had enough of this. I just wanted to have them. I just want to have them because now I know all of them and I know all the things, and I just like wait a minute, here we go.
And that is our show for 2021. We went over the legendary weapon variants. We went over a lot of story characters with Morgan and Quan. We took a tour of the new guild hall, and we showed you the first parts of the Arborstone revitalization.
No, we did not.
We have, if you need more Cantha, we have something for you now. The End of Dragons 4th beta event is live in the game right now. All 9 elite specializations are available to play, as is the Siege Turtle mount. That's going on until Saturday night, December 4th. Also, every day you log in and play the beta in Guild Wars 2, excuse me, is a chance to win this DX Racer gaming chair that we are partnering with DX Racer to give away. So enter to win that. Have some fun playing the beta event, and good luck on that. Path of Fire, if you don't have the Path of Fire expansion quite yet and you're still thinking about it, this is when you want to do that, because it is 50% off at Amazon right now through the end of December.
Pretty good.
We talked about maps for an hour, and then they're giving away a gaming chair.
We're going to get some work done.
It's awesome.
We're going to take a little break around the holidays, and then we're going to be back with some more End of Dragons for you guys on January 28th.
That's
Again,
January
thank you
28th
for spending this time with us since the First Look live stream in July.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
The year has been a lot. The past few months have been
January
incredible
28th.
to get to share
Did they say the
more and
28th?
more
Did they give us a release date?
with you.
No.
Oh, the stream.
The next stream.
Incredibly excited.
Oh, yeah, it's February.
But the release is February, and the next stream is the 20th.
Head over to
January.
Timing City must be taking a lot of time. And it makes sense. It's a really big place.
Thank you for spending time with us. We will see you.
Why didn't they do the betas like closer to the release? I have so many questions. These are weird decisions I don't get.
I mean, I feel like I don't know how to approach this.
We're gonna jump into the podcast in a sec. We're gonna stop this, and then we're gonna have a 5-minute break, collect ourselves, go to the bathroom, whatever, and then we'll come back and talk about all the things. Because I'm feeling like
we have things to talk about.
We do.
5-minute break, get a whiskey.
Yeah, you're poison. I mean, we don't know what Formax is going to
get. Whatever you want.
All right, so if you've been here so far, thank you very much for watching live, watching on YouTube, wherever. This was us reacting to the stream, which I think was very appropriate. We definitely reacted in time. And yeah, we will be back very shortly. If you want to check out the next video, there'll be a link to that various places. But yeah, thanks for watching so far, and we'll be back in a moment.